NBC 10 News starts now.
He is throwing it deep for the end zone, and it is batted around and incomplete. And the game is over. The game is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
And celebrate we will. First, the late night revelry. Now we look toward the victory parade. For the first time ever, the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
And it did not take long for those celebrations to begin. A few people did climb light poles, but most stayed close to the ground, celebrated appropriately as a mass of humanity swarmed onto Broad Street to celebrate as one big community. And how awesome is it to just keep looking at that picture?
Every man,
yes,
woman, child flooding Broad Street. Good afternoon, and thanks for being with us. I'm Rosemary Connors.
And I'm Ted Greenberg. To be the best, you have to beat the best. And that's exactly what the Eagles did, dethroning the defending champion, New England Patriots.
A Cinderella story, David and Goliath story, and yeah, we came out victorious. Eagles getting ready to head home as we speak at this moment. The team is scheduled to board a chartered plane for Philadelphia right about now, new time. That's what we're going to be watching. Their flight is due to touchdown at Atlantic Aviation right by Philly International between 2 and 2:30 this afternoon. Before the Birds left for the airport in Minneapolis this morning, we did hear from quarterback MVP Nick Foles. We also heard from Eagles head coach Doug Pedersen. Nick Foles talked about how he had to fail. You can't be afraid to fail, and that was part of the story. And then we also heard from Coach Pedersen.
Exactly, and he just gave credit to the whole team. That's something that we heard so much since this huge victory, and even before it, after winning the NFC Championship, about how this was teamwork and how this team pulled together and worked together to get this done. Take a look. Take a listen.
It's kind of surreal right now. These next few days are going to be a little crazy. We got a lot to do still, but just excited for the guys, and we'll remember this the rest of our lives.
It's just a great honor to be up here to accept this, but on behalf of the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, I'm fortunate to be a part of a great team, great players, great coaching staff, and I think, you know, just the play the last several weeks was just a team thing. We just kept working, kept game planning. You know, I kept talking to Doug about what I liked, and he, you know, him and all the coaching staff kept building it around what we were doing, and then it's a reflection on, you know, the execution on the field.
Tight end ZachErtz there going in for that touchdown. Of course, we've also been covering and watching the post-game revelry. Despite the best efforts of the Philadelphia police to keep people off the light poles, we know they initially in previous games tried to grease the poles with Crisco. They had a mysterious substance this time around. Yeah, we caught at least one fan climbing this pole. This is right at South Broad and Walnut Streets. By and large, most fans, Ted, behaved themselves. Everybody was on good behavior. As you can see, the crowds flocking towards City Hall.
Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney released a statement a short time ago. He said tens of thousands came out and celebrated this amazing victory, but for a handful of bad actors, the celebration was peaceful and jubilant. We're thankful for our police, for their assistance in getting the crowds dispersed and people home safely.
There is some damage to show you. This is from the few who got out of hand. They toppled this traffic light at the intersection of 17th and Chestnut Streets. Rowdy groups also smashed windows. They turned over planters in the area. We're going to keep watching that. And our team coverage continues now with that dash for championship merchandise and then those plans for the victory parade.
And that dash began last night and through the overnight, and NBC 10's Pamela Osborne is in Northeast Philadelphia for us, and she caught up with people who were waiting in line. What was that, 4 in the morning?
Real quickly, I've been texting my husband who's off today. I'm like, get me some Eagles gear. It's gone. It's practically gone. But Pam's got the inside look at a spot where you can get some custom Eagles attire. Take a look.
Take a look.
We've spent our morning in the Northeast catching up with fans who are doing nothing else other than trying to buy merchandise, that special championship gear. But we wanted to bring you here to PhiLII because take a look. You can actually get your own custom gear. These t-shirts they're working on right now, just say one word, victory, but that's all there really is to say. So tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now, this custom order.
We're working on a couple of victory shirts here for celebrating the big win yesterday. I couldn't get any sleep, so it's great to print these this morning. And
how does it feel just knowing that people are going to be wearing this? They're feeling so proud. You have to take some pride in making
of course. I take a bunch of pride in this. These are going to be on the backs of people. Hopefully we get to see them out in the parade. It's going to be an awesome time.
Are you going to the parade?
I hope so. I'll be there. I'm definitely going to be there.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, if you have been to the stores today, you haven't quite found what you're looking for, just know that you can come on down to PhiLII. You can get a t-shirt from anywhere from $5 to $10 depending on how much you order. Maybe you have an idea of what you might like. Maybe you're still working it out. They have someone here that can help you out with that. So a good place to look if you're looking to show your Eagles pride. In the Northeast, I'm Pamela Osborne, NBC 10 News.
Reality is certainly setting in that we won, and now we get the victory parade. To the spoils go the victors.
We did, and one more thing that Foles said earlier was that he's running on fumes, and there's a lot of adrenaline, and that's keeping him going. And I think between the two of us, we have like an hour of sleep, but we're still here, and we're still going because of that adrenaline.
Yes.
And so is NBC 10's Katie Zachary at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. The big question, when will that parade take place? Katie.
I've been in touch with the mayor's office several times this morning, but they are not divulging what day the parade will happen. What we do know is that it will begin in South Philadelphia and it will end here at the Art Museum in front of the famed Rocky statue. What's happening at the Art Museum right now? Take a look. There are dozens of crew members here who are putting up a stage. It really appears parade preparations are underway, yet the city won't confirm that, but I'm hearing from one of the crew members that they were told if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, to report here to the Art Museum steps to begin all of the preparations and all of the work for the parade that will happen later this week. There's even a tent that in the last hour or so has gone up just across Aikens Oval. There's crowd control, there's traffic control, trucks are coming in with some big pieces of equipment, a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation about this parade. We are just waiting to find out when. Reporting from Aikens Oval, Katie Zachary, NBC 10 News.
And as soon as we get that information, of course, you will get it as well. We have some ideas, we should say, but of course, we're waiting for that official word from the mayor's office. Hey, we want to see how you're celebrating this historic win in Philadelphia sports history. Use the hashtag #WeWonIt when you post your photos and videos. And of course, turn to the NBC 10 app for continuing coverage.
And we're going to have continuing coverage of the Birds' big return to Philadelphia. We are expecting them to be arriving at Philadelphia International Airport around 2:30 this afternoon. NBC 10 is your official station of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we are going to be bringing you live coverage of that big homecoming, and you know people are going to be out there.
That's right, so be sure to tune in to NBC 10 News this afternoon. I'm Rosemary Connors.
I'm Ted Greenberg. Thank you so much for being with us, and have a great afternoon.
And go Birds.
Fighting power! To the Philadelphia Art Museum, and we'll conclude with a ceremony and speeches on the museum steps. In a moment, I'm going to introduce President Don Smolenski, who will talk about the Eagles' plan for this great parade. Then we'll hear from Fred Stein, Philadelphia native and founder of the Creative Group, which has successfully staged over 2,500.
Good morning. I'm Tamala Edwards along with Matt O'Donnell. City officials and representatives from the Eagles are ready to lay out those details about the championship parade coming on Thursday.
Let's go right to the mayor's reception room at Philadelphia City Hall. Mayor Jim Kenney giving us the details of the when, the where, the how, and the why right now.
Fans celebrate it respectfully and safely. And I'm proud of the men and women of the Philadelphia Police Force for ensuring that the celebrations were largely without incident and only 3 arrests. Of course, we're here to talk about what will likely be a bigger celebration. I'm proud to announce that the city will honor the 2018 Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles with a parade this Thursday, February 8th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The parade route will stretch from Broad and Pedersen to the Philadelphia Art Museum and will conclude with a ceremony and speeches on the museum steps. In a moment, I'm going to introduce President Don Smolenski, who will talk about the Eagles' plan for this great parade. Then we'll hear from Fred Stein, Philadelphia native and founder of the Creative Group, which has successfully staged over 2,500 major special events around the world. After Fred, we'll hear from Jeff Kneppel of SEPTA, Police Commissioner Ross, and our Emergency Management Director, Dan Bradley. They have a lot of detailed information to give out. We know you all have a lot of questions, but we ask that you hold them until the end. I know this parade will be a celebration as first class as the entire season has been for the team and for its fans. We do anticipate tremendous crowds, potentially topping the number that turned out for the 2008 Phillies World Series parade. The best way to honor this great team and its accomplishments is to make it a great parade, and that means helping others, being patient amid the crowds, and most of all, celebrating with passion and pride. The entire nation will be watching our Super Bowl celebration. Let's show them what Philly pride is really all about. And I was very happy I made the decision not to go to Minnesota to watch the game. I was able to sit on my couch at home and watch every single play and every single replay. In the past, when we were in tight games like this, there was always the feeling that something bad would happen, that someone would throw an interception or someone would drop the ball and fumble, or they would bust a big play on us. And with every succeeding play, I saw Nick Foles and the rest of that team just continue to plow through and plow through and plow through. And it was a turning point in my experience with this team and this organization, that we actually knew they could do it. And when that fumble happened at the end, I was not on the couch anymore. I was jumping up and down in my living room. And I just want to thank them for all the joy that they brought to us over the years. There's been a lot of heartache, but there's a lot of joy. And I was listening to talk radio last night on the way to do an interview at Hardball with Chris Matthews, another Philly native. And a guy on the phone said that so many generations of people have passed on hoping to have a Super Bowl, that they were all somehow in heaven in a big tailgate urging this team on to victory, and I think that's really what happened. As a matter of fact, I talked to Luke Laterna, whose brother Matt passed away a few weeks ago, a firefighter and a fire-related injury on duty death, and he said he knew his brother was pulling for the team, and that's one of the reasons why they were successful. But I think all of us collectively, those of us who were born in Philadelphia, raised in Philadelphia, and suffered and celebrated over the years, nothing matched what we saw on Sunday. So congratulations to the Eagles, and thanks, Don, for everything.
Good morning, everybody. For the past several weeks, we've sort of been wrapped in our own cocoon as we prepared for the game this past Sunday, and so this is really the first. It's really my first full day back in Philadelphia and sort of coming out of that cocoon. And one of the, it's amazing to have been in the experience that we were just a part of. But one of the things of being in that cocoon is that I missed all of the enthusiasm that was happening back here in our great city. And so, with this parade on Thursday, it's really an opportunity for us, our organization, our players, our staff, to really sort of take in that enthusiasm, say thank you to the millions of fans, as the mayor alluded to, have rooted for this team through the years, through the tough years and through the almosts, and to who came with us in 2004 down in Jacksonville when we came so close, and who have been with us every stretch of the way. As the mayor said, in many regards, it's extremely overwhelming. I don't know that it's really fully hit in as to what we've accomplished. My cell phone was blown up with text messages and emails from people and the stories that they tell and what it meant, whether they were there with their son or daughter, or whether they were on their couch with their friends who have watched for years, or we had 99-year-old Phil Basser with us at the game, as someone who was served in World War II, who saw his team win a world championship. And I walked in to exercise this morning and to swim, and a guy stopped mid-swim and stopped in his lane to just stand and say thank you. And really the parade is a chance for us to say thank you to Philadelphia for everything. The sports teams, the Flyers, the Phillies, the Sixers, the Union really showed the brotherly love and the camaraderie that exists for this great sports town with the fans and with the cities and everything that they have provided us in terms of support. And we're thrilled that the parade will be come down Broad Street and certainly in the venue. To think that where we started with the draft back in April with 250,000 people on the Parkway, that we get to culminate the 2017 season with a Super Bowl parade on the same Parkway is incredible. It's also a showcase for city of Philadelphia and what a world-class city it is, and its world-class people. So with that, I know that the mayor, Police Commissioner Ross, SEPTA, and all of everybody, just like our team, has rallied together as a team to pull off what will be a parade that should just be a parade of fun, to celebrate, to just smile and enjoy the moment. And we're going to turn it over to them to talk about the specifics, but we look forward to the day and to soaking that in and sharing the prize with everyone. So thank you very much on behalf of our Jeffery Lurie and our entire organization. Thanks so much to everyone for your support.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to provide some details, although I was told that Bill Belichick was originally to provide the details of the parade. But, I'm here. So just to go through some of the logistics of this, and you should all know, this is a celebration. That's what we're calling it. It is not merely a parade. So there are two parts to this. The parade is part one. The ceremony is part two. So at 10:45 a.m. on Thursday morning, we will leave Lincoln Financial Field in the parade, which is entirely motorized. We will begin the parade 11 a.m. at Broad and Pedersen. We'll head north. We're going to head northbound down the center, except of course for the median strip. We'll be going nice and slow to give people the opportunity to see everyone. And it will be open air, so people will see. They're not enclosed vehicles that, everybody's significant will be on. As we pass by South Philly, come into Center City, just so you know, there are 3 press platforms that will be set up. One on the south portal of City Hall. So as it's coming north, goes past Chestnut Street, comes up to City Hall. The parade will turn left and go west around South Penn Square. Yes, it's the wrong way, but we understand traffic will be detoured. All the lights will be green for some reason. As we turn onto Penn Square, we're going to loop around to 15th Street. We'll go north on 15th Street. And just so you know, the entire route will be barricaded, of course, so all of our fans, the spectators, will be on the sidewalks, hanging out windows of office buildings, we suspect, and we'll continue along. There's a couple of surprises along the way, along the parade route that will happen, and it'll be very visual, the entire step along the way. So, as we pass by City Hall, which will be on the right-hand side, we're going to come up to JFK Boulevard. We're going to make a left. Okay, so we're going to go west on JFK, and right at the corner there of JFK Plaza, aka Love Park, will be a second press platform. The parade will pass by there. That press platform will offer a great shot of City Hall and William Penn in the background. As we make a right and go north on 16th Street, we come up to the Parkway. We turn left on the Parkway. We stay on the westbound lanes, the left lane, so we're going all essentially down the center of the Parkway. Barricades will be along both sides of this motorcade. However, we're going to offer maximum number of viewing opportunities for everyone. The barricades will be up well in advance. They'll be up early that morning. So as people start coming, and we'll get to how they're going to get there in a second, as they start arriving, they'll gather. Everyone will have a great close-up view of not just the parade, but of what happens later. So just very simply, the parade, the motorcade passes way up, goes around Logan Circle the proper way, goes up the Parkway, goes around Eakins Oval, and ends right at Kelly Drive at the Art Museum. Our guests will get out. There are many people who will be in the parade, some of whom will be seated because the stage itself, and many of you may have noticed the stage is going up, and it's sitting there right now. The stage is on the second level of the Art Museum. Okay? There'll be some seating down below, and then the vast majority will be our public invited. All of these, I would say 90% of the availability is really pretty close up and then stretching back. So we've heard numbers and reports of how many people are coming. We know we can fit 3 million people on the Parkway. So a lot of people are going to arrive early to get the best vantage point. They don't necessarily have to worry. We right now have 14 jumbotrons that will stretch from Eakins Oval down to City Hall. Okay? And then there is a sound system that's currently being set up, will be tested over the next 2 days to make sure that everyone not only sees what's going on, but hears it. Our broadcast partner is NBC 10 and NBC Sports. They will broadcast from 10:30 a.m. to the close of the ceremony. All of the local broadcast TV stations are pooling their camera feeds, so we will have vantage points of at least 12 different locations along the parade route in addition to on the Parkway. Okay? We finish up there approximately 12 p.m. with the parade, and then we prepare for the ceremony. The ceremony will begin at 1 p.m. Okay? And where will it be? On the steps of the Art Museum. Details for that parade, for that ceremony, will come at 1 p.m. on Thursday. Okay? It will be dramatic. It will be wonderful. It'll be fantastic. And for many of you, you should know that everyone has been preparing for this for about 4 decades. So the final details, you know, and yeah, going into 5 decades probably. But the final details have been worked on over the last few days, and it'll be dramatic. So the most important thing is right now is how people are going to get to the entire parade route and how they're getting to the Parkway for this ceremony. And I'd like to turn it over to the board chair of SEPTA, who happens to be here. He took the Broad Street subway to get here, and that's Pat Dion. So, Pat.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, everybody. I'd like to congratulate the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Every game, every time, the SEPTA bleeds green. You know, the subways, the stations, the trains. We are the mode of transportation preferred. Saying that, coming up, there's going to be a really wild, best way to put it, celebration in Philadelphia. Our goal is to transport as many fans to the parade as safely as possible. Immediately following this press conference, our general manager, Jeff Knuppel, over at our headquarters is going to be going through all the various details of the day and how we're going to handle the transportation needs for the region. We're going to be maximizing all of our routes and our personnel that day. I think, leave me said, we're going to do everything we can to get everybody in and out of town as safely as possible. To that effect, the Broad Street and Market Frankfurt lines will be the best option for fans coming in for the parade. And I'm pleased to announce that Independence Blue Cross is generously sponsoring free rides all day on the Market, Frankfurt, and Broad Street lines. Thank you, Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I think Donna Farrell is here today. Donna, thank you. Thank to our to Mr. Hilferty. Again, I'd like to thank Blue Cross for helping us. I think the day is going to be a magnificent day for the city of Philadelphia. Again, I'd like to thank the Eagles for winning. It was a great day for us, great day for the city. I'd like to bring up the Police Commissioner Ross to give you the details on that side. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Commissioner. So I'm standing here with one of my esteemed colleagues who needs no introduction, Fire Commissioner, and Chief Inspector Mel Singleton, who will play an instrumental role in a lot of the planning. Obviously, like everyone, we celebrate the Eagles. My classmate, Don Smolinski from Leadership Philadelphia, who I've known for a number of years. So clearly, we will have a very strong police presence as well as emergency medical services. Fire Commissioner will be out there alongside us, assisting us. As was already stated, a lot of barricades. You'll see police officers, much like most parades that we have, you know, they'll be on the inner perimeter of those barricades, which will assist us to help with crowd control. Obviously, there'll be a lot of happy people out there. But we'll have some extensive manpower out there in a lot of different forms. Homeland Security will be on for outreach to different businesses, particularly those with liquor licenses, to assist us during that day. Just sometimes simple things like the use of plastic cups, even little things that people don't think about. Just in other outreach along the parade route will help us immensely. We'll have officers in preventive patrol assignments, both in uniform and out, so that we'll be able to detect anything that seems like it's out of order. We'll have people all over, on foot, in vehicles, in the air. They'll be on bikes, they'll be on horseback. They'll just be all throughout the general parade route. In addition to which, PPD and the city is working very closely, obviously, with SEPTA, Amtrak, and all mass transit in the area to serve the citizens and ensure their safe passage to and from the parade. I already mentioned Homeland Security. Aviation traffic will be there contributing to this specific area of expertise. PPD will be working in close cooperation with the fire department, state and federal partners, and that's something we do in all of these large-scale events, and we do it pretty well. Finally, we're obviously working with OEM, and you'll hear from Dan in a minute, but we also ask some little things. Obviously, and it happens every time, and sometimes it's innocent enough, but keep a close watch on your children. I mean, when you're talking about large-scale events like this, it can be a little difficult. We have plans for locating them and getting them back to you safely, but to the degree that you can just keep your hands on them, that helps us immensely. Also, please leave no bags unattended. We spend a lot of resources when we find unattended bags because of the world that we live in today. And so to the degree that you have a bag with you, please do not put it down and walk away. Someone will do what we invariably ask, which is call. See something, say something. And people have done a wonderful job of doing that. But if we can avoid that, that'll be helpful. Obviously, you may have some questions later, but for now, I'm just going to turn it over to Dan, and you can just follow up.
Thank you, Commissioner. We are beyond excited to host this celebration event. I'd like to walk through a couple things. First and foremost, to make sure that you have the most up-to-date info, the city is using a custom keyword to enroll for free text alerts about the parade. To sign up for free, you text Ready Eagles, one word. You're going to have to fight the autocorrect on your phone. It's going to be a word after today. And you text that to 888-777. And that's going to allow us, everyone attending the event, to share information about mass transit, parade details, weather, detours, and anything else that could happen. That's our way of reaching you on game day. The city has worked very closely with our telecommunication partners. You will have now seen telecommunication boosting equipment throughout the city. That is to increase our cell phone service, because we know for an event of this size, everyone's going to want to live stream and take photos, so it's the work we've done in the background to increase the cellular bandwidth. But even with that, it's important for those that are attending, as the commissioner said, to have a plan. If you get separated from your group or your family about where you're going to meet, there are location signs along the parkway, but also just choose a landmark. I encourage everyone attending the parade to dress warmly and in layers with comfortable shoes, and anticipate walking long distances, as well as anticipating some delays with mass transit leaving the area. We're going to hear much more at 10:30 from SEPTA's press conference, but do expect, given the volume of people, some delay on regional transit getting out. I'd like to also echo the commissioner's statement about calling 911 for suspicious activity. You are all the public and public safety. If something looks out of place, please call 911. And with that, I look forward to seeing all of you at our celebration on Thursday. Thank you.
So, folks, we have time for about 10 minutes worth of questions. I ask that your questions be about information that the public would need to know. If you have questions about media logistics or credentialing, please save that for afterwards. In addition, folks will be around afterwards. We run out of time, and as you heard, SEPTA will be having its own press conference at 10:30 to get into the nitty-gritty of their plan for Thursday.
Will there be any magnetometers or anything that people have to go through for security, such as like when the Pope is here?
And you can come up to the microphone.
No.
Mayor, we're kind of taking a beating in the national press about some of the images that were transmitted from Sunday night. I was in Mayfair. It was peaceful.
Yeah.
What's your message going forward to Thursday, based on some of the opinion that is out there and some of the damage in Center City? That
the small number of knuckleheads should stay home. Every city that's gone through this has had this celebration. There's always some element of people who do this. There were literally tens of thousands of people on the street, and the knucklehead contingent was extremely small, and media focuses obviously on the negative, because it doesn't. No one's interested in the positive. I know our police department is working hard to identify those particular individuals and to also make arrests with them. I believe somebody may be even turning themselves in as a result of the car being turned over. I think on the scale of things, certainly it's unfortunate and it's regrettable. I don't think it rose to the level of any real serious concern. And I think what happens is with Eagles fans sometimes the media wants to perpetuate the myth of, I've been to literally hundreds of Eagles games. I've seen some stuff at the vet, but I mean, it's nowhere. I mean, and when Eagles fans travel to other places, I mean, Giants Stadium isn't an easy place to be in. There's other places, the Madison Square Garden is not an easy place to watch a Flyers game. It's regrettable. I wish it wouldn't happen. I wish people would think, but our officers can deal with it, and we'll deal with it, and let's just have fun.
Hey, is there any kind of restrictions as far as fans bringing in food or water? And can they buy that? And also, do you have ample porta potties or restroom facilities?
I don't know about the porta potty thing. I'm not an expert in that area. But Fred, what I would tell people is do not bring backpacks of beer with you because they'll be taken from you. But I think water and food, I don't have an opinion.
Right now, there are 850 porta-johns that are out there, scattered throughout on both the north and south sides of the parkway, and some along Broad Street at various intersections. Food, certainly along Broad Street, everybody's going to be open. However, Philadelphia Mobile Food Truck Association, we've allowed them to place, right now, it looks like about 40 trucks, both on the north and south side of the parkway, and details will be, but basically 20th and Winter Street, and then behind Von Collin Field. on Pennsylvania Avenue.
I'm not wanting to jinx things. I know you don't want to talk about these plans prior to the game itself, but is this in fact a starting from ground zero at Sunday night at 10:20? Is this really going to happen in 3 days, or was there at least some level of logistics that had to be done prior to the Super Bowl playing?
Karen and I and a few other people sort of got together the week before, maybe 2 weeks before, to look at, what happens if this were to occur. Not any different than the visit of the Pope, because there was nothing official till the Vatican came to visit, officially. But there were 6 months of work. And if you could imagine, the managing director's office taking the lead on all of this and looking at what's going on, along with police, then streets, public property, health, L&I, fire, it goes on and on. So all of the contingencies were basically ready. But really nothing official. And it just was a lot of good conversation leading up to Sunday night, when sort of an email went out at 10:30.
Commissioner Ross, if I may follow up. The mayor said only 3 arrests, and there's a small contingent of knuckleheads out there. But there was video taken of smashing the Macy's windows in storefronts, kidnapping a mannequin, tasty cakes, and snapshots. What's the status of that, and how are you going after those people who did vandals of Super Bowl money?
So, in large part, some of these people are helping us with their own video. That shows you how idiotic it is. So, the mayor alluded to at least one gentleman supposed to turn himself in today. We are working tirelessly to try to identify some of the others, and as far as I'm concerned, they were committing criminal acts, so we will post their photos if we can't figure out their ID, just like we do in any other crime. So we will do that until we exhaust all means necessary, particularly those who have committed crimes, breaking windows and things like that. This was, as you might imagine, for those of you who saw aerial views, this was a crowd like we've never seen. Not for a celebration anyway. It totally morphed the PhiLII celebration in 08 by leaps and bounds. I mean, there were crowds from Vine Street to South Street. I mean, and literally, there were times when I was out there walking, telling people to get off poles, that walking from here to that door could take me 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, so there were instances where police officers saw things but could not get to the people in time. So I just want to stress that, these men and women were out there under some very difficult circumstances. Commissioner Teal's people came out to help us a couple times. Streets Department has always been there for us. So in emergency management, this city works as a team. And this is why, we always have success with this. And the mayor said it. As regrettable as it is, I mean, it could have been far worse. And look, for New England, they had their own thing and they lost. So in the grand scheme of things, So, I mean, I'm just being, and I'm by no means trying to justify it, but I'm just being honest, all right? So.
From the information that you've seen in the video, how many people you might be?
I don't know right now, but I would say probably no less than 10. And it may be more than that. I'm not sure. But, I mean, we've already started on the right path by, in this short order, having someone who knows they have to turn themselves into us. It's supposed to be an agreement today. And look, the looming question is that this parade is very different. Obviously, the demographics are very different. A lot of family people, a lot of different folks out there. Out there that night was a lot of folks in their 20s, and many of whom were drinking. Most who still did not cause us any issues, but it's a different event. But again, all the folks who collaborated, worked together, I mean, they did a lot more to stave off things that even they're not getting credit for. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm telling you, trying to move in that crowd was virtually impossible. In fact, just to share some details, I'm going to step away. Our bread and butter at a lot of these events are our bike patrol, and they were virtually became a non-entity with regard to moving around. Once they got in a location, they were able to be successful in doing what they did. but trying to get anywhere, you just couldn't move. And so we saw crowds, like I said, I don't know what the crowd estimates are. We're saying tens of thousands, but I'll just tell you, if someone told me if it was in excess of 100,000+, I would not doubt it.
If you guys, I'm sorry, just to follow up on that, if you guys have trouble moving around with just tens of thousands, how are you going to expect?
Barricades. There's an open street called Broad Street. It's a big, big difference. I mean, right up the middle, we can get anywhere very quickly. It's a good question, but it will make all the difference in the world. And because this is a brand new thing.
Concern over pickpockets and a massive crowd. What do you suggest that people bring or not bring on Thursday?
Well, I mean, you just got to secure your personal items. Obviously, if with any time, particularly for men or women, be very guarded about your wallets. But these are some of the reasons we'll have plain clothes in the crowd. So we'll be able to look at things like that and try to discern who's doing what. Somebody else had a question? Yeah, that's not for me. That's beyond my scope. Right. Well, no, we have a means to do that, but I mean, that's somebody else in the city. And they're very good at dealing with that because you're right. The cell phones will go down, but the city's always done a great job at that at the large scale events. I mean, you can imagine with the papal visit and so forth, DNC, a lot of cell phones. But again, I'm not that adept at that, so I'll hold off on that. In the back.
Mr. Ross, you've been the Flyers, the Sixers, the Phillies. This could be the biggest parade of people combined. Are you looking to outside resources in other areas that help secure the area and help maintain it?
Well, we always, I mean, obviously we work very closely with SEPTA and typically with Pennsylvania State Police. The good thing about this event, again, is it's barricaded. There will be an area to traverse up Broad Street, which to the original question about how will we get around, that's how we're going to get around. And in a lot of instances, we will also be right in some of those crowds, which is a little different. And so we will have enough people out there. That's the bottom line. Anybody else?
Question for you. Phillies fans are Eagle Green, and big guy. A lot of people have never seen a thing like this. How do you, as an Eagle fan, think about this and how this game is fighting on the team?
Well, it's nice to be a winner after not being a winner for so long. And it's nice that this particular team made us a winner because of their storied history in the city and getting there twice and coming close once. It makes people, I mean, I don't understand the sports psychology or why people feel the way they feel about their teams winning, but it does work and puts things on an upward trajectory. So I think it's terrific. And again, as far as the parade is concerned, you have to understand the crowd that was out there Sunday night had probably been partying from the afternoon through 10:30, 11 o'clock. What you're going to have is a thing that starts at 10:45. I doubt even the hardiest partiers will be drinking that much at 10:45, and it'll be over by about, 2 or 3. So I think it'll be a different tenor, a different element. It'll be more families. Again, as the police commissioner said, there are a lot of 20-somethings out there, hooping it up. But I think you're going to have a different element of crowd on that parade route.
Mr. Brown, can you tell us the decision behind going from, as opposed to ending at the Linc and at the Arlington?
Yeah, I think the issue, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it had to do with the disbursement of the crowd. What happened in the Phillies was that everybody was at the sports complex. When it was over, everybody flooded the subways. They could not function. People could not get on the platforms. So what we're hoping is that this large crowd ending at this point will be able to disperse north, south, east, and west, even if they have to walk for a period of time, as opposed to flooding the subway system at Broad and Pedersen.
Last question.
They should find a way to get it on public transit. They shouldn't be driving. What's going to happen potentially is the traffic might be so bad that they'll get stuck in traffic and never see anything. So what I would do if I were living in the suburbs is I find a way to get in on mass transit and get out on mass transit. It's going to be a long day, so people need to be patient. The systems can only handle so many people. There's going to be a lot more people than it normally handles. So patience and putting some steps on your cell phone, getting healthy and walking a distance will probably be better for you than driving in.
All right, thanks everyone. We have extra copies of the press release.
Mayor Jim Kenney giving us lots of information about the Super Bowl championship parade coming up on Thursday, including times, including a route. In fact, we have a map we can show you right here. We know where it starts. We know just about every step of the way where it's going to go through, ending up at the Philadelphia Art Museum with a ceremony. So it's a parade and a ceremony. We've also heard that they're expecting more than the Phillies championship parade in 2008, so maybe up to 3 million people. And also, we learned that Mayor Jim Kenney was happy to not go to Minneapolis and watch the Super Bowl at home on his couch. But all this information is being posted on 6abc.com.
And they've thought it out to all the details, 850 porta potties, 40 food trucks where you'll be able to get something to eat and drink, what you can bring. Again, go to our website for that. They're going to do their best to make sure you get great vantage points, whether you're down at the sports complex or up on near the art museum. But don't forget, one of the best seats in the house, that would be right here with us on 6ABC. Don't miss a minute of the City Ride celebration. You'll be able to watch that championship parade and celebration right here on 6ABC. We'll be live on air and streaming on 6abc.com and the 6ABC app starting at 11 on Thursday morning. We've come to love all our people. We love you back. We will be out in full force bringing you our very best. So stay here with Action News as your MVP as we bring you the best of the best.
Now, SEPTA is going to be holding a news conference. Public transit is going to be probably the best option if you want to go out and see the parade. They're going to have a news conference at 10:30 this morning. We'll be streaming that live on 6abc.com if you'd like to watch that. And any information that is given during the news conference, we'll have on 6abc.com.
There's a lot to go over, so we'll have it for you to read at your leisure and be ready to go for Thursday. So for 6ABC, I'm Tamala Edwards here with Matt O'Donnell. We send you back now to Live with Kelly and Ryan in progress.
Good morning.